What's going on, guys? Please excuse the rainy weather we have today. So this is a 2003 Honda Element 2.4 liter automatic transmission, front wheel drive. That doesn't make a difference. This applies to all models, all-wheel drive, manual transmission, so on and so forth, because they all have the exact same cooling system. So I'm doing coolant flush because my rad fans were not turning on and the car was overheating and I had no heat. So just so I didn't have to take everything apart twice, I bought a new thermostat instead of just throwing in a new thermostat. And you know, with my luck, it wouldn't be the problem. I decided just to take apart the whole cooling system and flush everything out. So what you want to do is disconnect the lower and upper rad hoses, right? Put some, you grab your hose. So I grabbed one of these guys. Okay, just one of these hoses and clear plastic tubing from Home Depot or Lowe's or any general store. I used one of these. You put it over the end, hold it tight, and what I did is, this is your heater control valve. I think that's what it's called. It's right there. Okay. So when you're trying to diagnose or trying to narrow down issues with your cooling system or overheating issues, there's a few things you need to check, right? Obviously, thermostat will cause an overheating issue and so on and so forth. So basically, these two pipes right here are your heater core. So I connected a clear hose to that. I put pressurized water through there. I didn't see no clogs. The water coming out, or the old coolant, wasn't even that dirty. So this heater control valve, when you turn the key into the accessory position, or you can have the car running, it's hard to see because there's usually a strut bar here, but this little metal wire connected to this little arm. So that arm, that little flapper, is going to go in or out. So right now I got the heat in the on position. So right now that valve is letting all the coolant through, and it goes right into the cooling, into the heater core, and it circulates the very hot coolant, whatever it is, 210 Fahrenheit degrees. It circulates through the system and it gives you heat inside the cabin, right? So now I verified this works. There's also underneath the dashboard, right above your pedals, there's like a little gear selector that you also have to check. There's YouTube videos on it, but that's not what the video is about. The video is about just how to quickly flush out your cooling system, right? So what I did, because if you damage these aluminum metal pipes that go into the heater core, you're screwed, right? So what I did is I used a heat gun to soften up the rubber, right? And then they twisted it right off, nice and easy, right? Because it's older, harder rubber, and the chances of something going wrong are much greater, especially on an older vehicle. This car's what, almost 21 years old now, right? And it's a Canadian car, so it's been through hell and back. Now I verified that there's no clog there. I had reverse flowing water, and I had flowing water going into the top. So you want to connect a clear hose to the top and bottom and make sure it flows both ways, right? Then I connected one here. I opened the valve from the inside. You just go to the hot function, blew water through here, and I did this with my thermostat off just so I could see the flow of water. I had great flow there, all the way through this hose, and it goes down and around. Then I did the upper rad hose, and the lower rad hose is connected to your thermostat housing, which is right here. Okay, so this guy just sits underneath like so, like this. You see that little square hole? That's a clip for part of the wiring harness. So this actually sits just like this on the front of the motor. So this hose right here is connected to the lower portion of the radiator. When you're playing around with your radiator and stuff, and you need to reposition the car, do not make the same mistake I did. This being an automatic car, it has two lines going from the transmission to the bottom of the radiator, the transmission cooler lines, I believe, and I made a hell of a mess on my driveway. All I wanted to do was reposition the car in my driveway, and I literally left such a long oil streak and hours of cleaning, and the stain's still there. So yeah, don't do what I did. If you're gonna move the car, just throw the rad in there. It can be empty, but as long as those lower little black hoses are just on the nipples, just to prevent the mess, and the oil has somewhere to go, right? So So yeah, guys, so upper rad hose, lower rad hose you don't have to do if you take a thermostat off. Get this guy and the 2 heater core nipples there on the firewall, just to verify there's no clogs. So now that I verified there's no clogs in my system, I'm gonna have to hunt down why my rad fans are not turning on. I think it's a coolant temperature sensor, which is located at the bottom of the radiator. So up next, I'm going to be doing a flush of the radiator after I remove it. I can't take it out in the driveway because then I can't put the car back in the garage because then it's spit oil everywhere. So yeah, so next up is the coolant flush from the radiator. And then after I get everything back together, I'm going to have to hunt down why my fans are not turning on. So I already checked the fuses, and I checked these guys. I forget what they're called. Relays. That's right, relays. So I tested all these fuses. These guys are all going to be your fans. So as you see right here, so you got the cooling fan. It's got a picture of a fan in the middle of the radiator. The bottom one is your heater fan, or the engine fan, which is the larger one, your cooling fan for the AC. It should always engage, so it should always turn on. As soon as you turn the AC on, you get the little green light on the dash, green or blue light, whatever it is, which tells you that the AC compressor is engaged. So no matter what, at least your cooling fan should turn on, and both fans should run when the coolant temperature sensor reaches, the preset sensor temperature range, which would then engage electronically both fans as a fail-safe. So you could protect the engine from overheating, right? I noticed my heat gauge was creeping up. I didn't let it creep up too much. It's aluminum head, aluminum block. You want to avoid any major damage, right? So if you ever have overheating problems, you need to pull over quick and verify what's going on, because you do not want to drive, even if it means driving an extra 3 minutes when your heat gauge is in the red. Don't do it. Pull over. Until it's safe to pull over, at least turn on your heater full blast, just to get some of that heat out of the engine, right? But yeah, you need to pull over ASAP. That's why it's a good habit to always check your temperature gauge periodically when you're driving. You check your speed, check your temperature gauge, your fuel, all that stuff, right? Especially if you're driving these older vehicles, it's it's a good habit to have, because you never know. As you see the engine bay here, it does not look pretty, right? As I said previously, this car has been through hell and back. It's got 293,000 kilometers on it, so it's getting up there, but it's not as high as the other elements I've seen, which gives me hope. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and maybe I'll post another video. All right, thanks for watching. Cheers.